All right, this week's 48 Hours features a case which began with a burglary and ended with a murder investigation. Along the way were thousands of texts, exotic poisons, and a killer root beer float. 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant has a preview.
In September 2023, Jackson County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Adam Nicholson was called to investigate a burglary at the Freetown, Indiana home of Marcia Allen.
She had recently put a home security system in her house.
Marcia lived alone. Her husband, Harold, had died just the year before. Surprisingly, Detective Clint Burcham says Marcia told police she recognized one of the burglars.
Marcia Allen described Stephen White as her daughter Ashley Jones' best friend.
Police found Stephen White living nearby. They asked him about the burglary.
Yeah. Does you know anything about it? No.
But White couldn't lie for long.
I got a picture here. Can I see it?
After Nicholson showed him a security camera screenshot, White admitted to the burglary, but then went on to tip investigators to an entirely new case. And this one was a murder, claiming that Marcia was responsible for her husband's death.
Stephen White told me that Marcia Allen had killed her husband Harold by poisoning a root beer float.
Marcia went into the kitchen and made a root beer float with whipped cream and sprinkles on top of it. And she poured something out of a bottle into there.
Investigators started looking into White's allegations. They quickly uncovered nearly 7,000 texts between Marcia and her daughter Ashley, sent in the 3 months before Harold died.
There's something going on, that they were indeed trying to poison Harold Allen.
Police say they created a timeline showing the mother-daughter duo had tried to kill Harold over and over with different poisons, including ethylene glycol, an ingredient in antifreeze ordered online. The night before he died, Marcia texted Ashley, "He's all in for root beer floats."
If you put it in a root beer float with ice cream and root beer, you're not going to know until it's too late.
And 48 Hours correspondent Peter Van Sant joins us now. Wow, Peter, that is a pretty damning text to end on there. What was the poison inside this float?
It was ethylene glycol, which is this sweet-tasting ingredient that actually goes into antifreeze. And if you put it into something like a root beer float, it's completely disguised, and the victim, he or she, won't realize they're consuming poison until it's too late.
And I understand it wasn't the only poison that was used or tried, and what happened to Harold during
I had to Google a bunch of this. One of the poisons they used was called pong pong seeds, not ping pong, pong pong. It's from a plant in Southeast Asia. It's a very exotic, deadly poison, but it has a bitter taste. So his wife and his stepdaughter ground it up with walnuts and put it in brownies, and Harold, whose nickname was Peanut, had a great sweet tooth, and he gobbled that down. It made him very sick, but it didn't kill him.
Was there a potential motive?
Yes, the motive was, it's not a lot of money. He had a life insurance policy worth $120,000.
Wow.
He also had some firearms, some jewelry. But what's intriguing in this story is that I believe one of the motives in this was they just enjoyed this entire conspiracy to murder this man. And through the thousands of text messages, it's chilling.
I was about to use the same exact word. Peter Van Sant, thank you for this. Folks can catch Peter's full report, The Root Beer Float Murder, tomorrow at 9 Central on CBS. 48 Hours also streams on Paramount+.